Hello, this is a week 8 recap of my data job hunt, which has now become my data analysis job hunt. I've decided data analysis is the job I'm going to look for. Um, Later, I might branch out into data science, but I think going after data analysis first is the move. So, previously, I split this up into these 6 sections, but now I'm changing portfolio projects, putting that under technical skills, and then I'm including this new section called other. So now the 6 sections are work rate and scheduling, technical skills, non technical skills, documentation, job applications, and other. First, we have work rate and scheduling. Um, the components of work rate and scheduling are the same as before, no changes. It's work rate, my overall work rate, my daily schedule, and my work schedule. This week's work rate, I worked a total of 1,655 minutes. Most of my time was spent on technical skills, um, doing reading, some practice problems, deciding which technical skills to pursue, and putting together some courses. Yeah, I guess other notable thing is now I have this section other. Spent 300 minutes on it, mostly on mentorship and then just various exploration on other tools, methods, and stuff to do. My average time spent each day was 260 minutes. I had one day off. Worked 90 minutes on that day off, but I'm not counting that towards the average. So my average time rate that I worked per day went up to 260 minutes from 170 minutes. Week 7, I was still following my typical just work one session in the morning, and then I can work later if I want to. My new schedule, sorry, it's hard to focus with my phone ringing right now, but I'm in do not disturb mode, so I'm not answering it. So right, yeah, I changed my morning schedule. Now I have a longer morning session, which is about 3 hours long. And then I included one structured afternoon work session, which is about an hour and a half per day, which is what I would attribute to this increase. I also included this new metric. I started tracking it at about week 5. Not before, so I don't have any data for that. But what I mean by subjective work efficiency is I'll say, okay, today I worked at an efficiency of nothing done. It's pretty intuitive. I'm like really distracted, maybe falling asleep. I end up doing something that's not towards the data job hunt. Bad, similar to nothing done, but I'm still getting some stuff done. Still focusing on something that's relatively related to the job hunt. And then I'll skip these two, just various progressions. When it's a very good work rate, or I'm a Sigma male, it means I'm focused the entire time on whatever task that I decided to do. What I found that affects the work efficiency the most is usually me deciding, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and then I stick to that. If I get overwhelmed with the number of possibilities that I can go down, then I'm usually like hopping between the things and not getting much done toward any of the things. Also, sleep tends to affect it. Makes it harder to focus on whatever I'm trying to do. So I would say those are the two primary things. For work rate, I did a couple of things. I installed the door seal and door sweep. This means less noise comes into my room. I can focus better. Less light will also come into my room when I'm sleeping, so that helps me sleep better. I also installed the floor light. It's actually a corner light. That's not quite correct, but that helps me have lower light at night. Helps me wind down. I usually read a book. Some of Ace the Data Science interview, so I'll get a couple more minutes in. but that helps my sleep and my mood a bit. I also studied retention and overlearning, which is part of the ultra learning book that I read. So, yeah. I also included subjective work efficiency into the slideshow now. What I have to do is I want to be more structured with these principles so I can really, I don't know, make more iterations and really improve each of the aspects of learning some sort of project. I also want to use ChatGPT more, look for more opportunities to use it, so I can take more advantage of it. Then I also want to, yep. This is still here. Nothing to say about this. Daily schedule. What I did here is I did some wake up time analysis. Sometimes before my scheduled wake up time, I'd wake up at some time, usually like an hour or two before the time I decided I want to wake up. So I checked to see if there was some commonality between the times I'm waking up and like when I'm falling asleep and stuff like that. Turns out there's not, so didn't really change my schedule at all. But now I'm testing my WakeFix double work 7:50 a.m. schedule. This is where I wake up at 7:50 a.m., do 3 hours of work, lunch break, and then an afternoon session. I'm also testing a slightly different morning routine. My morning routine before was cold shower, sunlight, meditate. Now I'm just switching cold shower from the beginning to the end. What do I have to do? I want to continue testing the schedule that I'm working on. I also want to make the afternoon session longer. Right now it's about an hour and a half. I want to extend it to 2 hours. Ultimately the goal is 3 hours, but won't be able to do that in the near future because I have some scheduling conflicts. Might be able to break it up into a couple of different sessions, but won't be able to get that. I also want to test eating breakfast. Right now I intermittent fast. My first meal will be at around 12:30, and then last meal around 8:30, 9, 8. Might want to change up eating in the morning, maybe just have a different intermittent fasting window, like start and end, or maybe just not do it at all. As for my work schedule, my work morning sessions from now on will be SQL and Tableau, except for Tuesdays, which I will be working on in this documentation. My afternoon sessions can be anything else I want. I'm not going to put in any restrictions on that. My to-do, I want to figure out my plan for afternoon sessions because not a lot of structure to it. I want to structure it a little bit more, just because I feel like that'll help me out. Yeah. Okay, section 2, technical skills. Previously, these were the old components, reading, practice problems, and teaching. What this really was components of each technical skill that I can do. So instead, I'm writing down the technical skills that I can do, which are SQL, Tableau, spreadsheets, probability and statistics, Python, and projects. SQL, I've gathered my potential courses that I'll take. I've confirmed this is an important skill to learn. I had a one-on-one coaching session with a data analyst called Ian Kay. He has a website called DataDad, and he kind of helped me steer me in the right direction, with which skills I should learn right now and what I should do with those skills. Basically the outcome of that meeting is I'm going to take an SQL course, Tableau course, make 3 projects, start applying, and then make a portfolio. So what I have to do now is just to pick a course and to start working on it. Same for Tableau. Spreadsheets, I won't be taking a course in because I'm already comfortable with spreadsheets. Spreadsheets aren't really common interview questions, and I'm learning them on the go in my day-to-day routine. Like today, I was doing an analysis on my subjective work efficiency, where I transform categorical data into numerical data, and then made a new separate sheet for that, and also on like how to store categorical values that I don't have to like retype it in every single time and stuff like that. Next section is probability, or component is probability and statistics. I've got my log for probability and statistics to show what I've done. I just did a little brief reading on the statistics chapter. I won't go into the log because I don't think it's worth the time. But yeah, I already made the note that reading practice problems and teaching I could put as components of each of the components. I'm gonna lay off on that for now. What I have to do, I want to find a neat way to visualize this because I feel like looking at the logs, yes, it's a step in the right direction. It is a visual. I feel like there's definitely some room for improvement. Python, I won't be taking a course in Python either for 3 reasons. The first reason, I already have proof of competency. I used Python, I did machine learning in Python for my optoelectronics internship. I already wrote a story for that so I can explain it well. 2, this is the primary reason, is that data analysts say they rarely use it. Ian K said he's rarely touched Python. It's a nice thing to have, but if I had to invest my time, he said if he had to invest his time and skills learning data analysis, that he would not pick Python. He'd go with SQL, Tableau, and spreadsheets. Oh yeah, there wasn't really any interview questions about Python. They're not very common in data analysis internships. So next is projects. I briefly mentioned this, but in my one-on-one session with him, he suggests I make 3 dashboards on Tableau before starting applications. And then also, great resource, makes a lot of sense. I feel this will help me out a lot, is to use Maven Analytics. It'll give you a data set about a specific thing, but the kicker here is it'll give you some suggested business questions to answer. Because he said you shouldn't really do, or if you have a project that you're putting on your resume, it shouldn't just be exploratory data analysis. It should answer a business question, and this makes sense. And there's multiple sources or different people that advocate for this, so I'm gonna do that, and also to make a portfolio. But what it did say is to do the projects. You don't have to start applying until you make a portfolio. Just have the projects done. Yep. Next section, non-technical skills. And my behavioral interview questions, speaking and presenting, and storytelling. For my behavioral interview questions, I practiced the ones I already did. I created a log for it, which I'm basically just counting my reps and how well I told the story and what I need to work on with the story. I also made a list of questions to answer. There's a lot, so it's going to take a while, but it is what it is. And also compiled the questions I have for the interview at the end of the interview. What I have to do, I have to start answering the questions, and then practice the questions I already have. Didn't do anything for speaking and presenting. I still want to learn to enunciate more because I feel like I definitely trip over my words a lot. So I want to have some practice with that. I haven't looked into these speaking skills yet. That's another thing I plan to do. Storytelling, have not done anything about it. Still want to learn when to tell stories, how to tell stories, and when to tell facts. Documentation. Next section. Components are the same. Got my weekly recap, my logs, and my videos. For the weekly recap, I introduced some new sections. I included work efficiency into my weekly recap. I created new components for the technical skills. I also deleted the description of each component because I feel like that just clutters up the slide and it's not really necessary to understand it. And I also included some animations, as you can see right here. What I wanted to do next is I want to create like a most important slide or a summary slide at the beginning of the presentation because I feel like in order to get most of the information, you got to go through the whole slideshow, which takes a while. I also want to structure the other section because I don't have any components for that yet. I will also want to update my technical skills section. I didn't finish doing what I wanted to with it because I'm almost done, or almost out of time for working on documentation today. Also, still want to update this slide format where it's task completed and to do. And then also, there are 2 chapters of the ACE Data Science interview, which I'm not sure whether or not to put that under technical skills or non-technical skills, which is product sense and case studies. Not sure where I'm going to put it yet. Logs. So I made 2 extra logs, or 2 more logs. Made my behavioral interview question log, which I already mentioned, and then I also made a log for the next chapter of ACE the Data Science interview. Also want to organize my daily log more. It's pretty unorganized. I feel like there's a lot of stuff I can organize there. It feels kind of cluttered a lot of the time. Same with my Ultra Learning Principles log. What I did regarding videos this week, I did the week 7 recap. I did try a different camera angle, but I was a little too far off. Try a different camera shot type, which basically means I've zoomed in my face more, so there's less background and more head. Also better audio quality. Technically haven't done this yet, but I'm going to feed this audio file into an AI enhancer and see how that sounds. I also considered showing part of my computer. What I mean by that, I'll just demonstrate. Some videos, people have their camera off to the side, and then the camera such that you can see part of their computer, so you can kind of get a better intuition for what I'm doing. Don't know if I'm going to go with that yet. I'll give it a shot, try it out, see how it works. Okay. Alright, job applications. Components are still the same. I actually didn't write anything down for this section, but I did go on LinkedIn and add a bunch of data influencers so I can just get a bunch of random advice from them. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I did for here. The main reason I included other in this now is because I researched mentorship, but I don't really think it fits in a category that I already have, but it's definitely something I would include under my data job month. I researched mentorship, how to be a good mentee, took a lot of notes on kind of how to go about a session. I did set up 2 meetings. One of the meetings I already had, which was with Ian K, and then I set up another meeting with this guy, Lore So What. He's a YouTuber. See how that goes. That's on Thursday. Yeah, I also did some exploration on YouTube, just like about various tools and methods to do things. Haven't made a to-do list for other things to do, so I guess make a to-do list is on my to-do list. But that's the end.